Hello world, my name is Ty Brueilly. I'm coming to you from me and my wife's store called Heart's Core Art Store, downtown Asheboro, 200 Worth Street, Suite C. I'm an Asheboro native, Appalachian State graduate, before that Southwestern Randolph. A filmmaker that has just recently finished up a really cool project. One of my favorite projects that I've ever been a part of from some of my favorite people in the community. Don Simmons and his family from Magnolia 23. So let's take a walk down the street, sit on site and talk about this project that I call Down Home, a Magnolia 23 story. All right, we are outside of Magnolia 23 in downtown Asheboro, North Carolina, and I come to you in a very different world than when we first started this project. A world where social isolation is the norm, families are separated, businesses are shut down, and family businesses just really don't know what's next. So we decided, even though Magnolia 23 is closed, that we're going to proceed on schedule with our screening of this project, but on a virtual platform, online. But we still plan on a live screening at some time, maybe in the summer or the fall. We started this project about a year ago. I came into Magnolia 23 with some friends for lunch, and Don, being a friend of the family, already knew that I was taking filmmaking with a professional approach. So he asked me, would you mind shooting a film for us? And immediately, my mind was yes. I've known this man all my life. I grew up with his nephews. I've loved his compassion, his vision. His family's wonderful. And I love the way he conducts business. So I was all on board for the project. We had a few meetings, started planning out how we were going to execute this. He talked about going down to Ellerby, Norman, really focusing on the farm to table. I was already intrigued and enthralled that he would bring me in on this project. Growing up with his nephews, I'd heard all the stories from Ellerby, knew a little bit about Norman, but to really get into a business, we all had the same vision of going to the source of his heart, the source of his roots, the source of the family. It is a family business. So I was enthralled to go and see where the heart's core of this man came from, his family, where Magnolia 23 came from. And show that to the world, show the community the journey that this family has taken, this man's taken, to create something that is so admired and loved in the community. So we decided that we needed much more than a promotional video, much more than just some testimonials. We wanted a more balanced story, a more complete story. So it's much more than a promotional video. And I approached that from the very beginning with that mentality. I'm very proud of the outcome. It shows the lifeblood of this restaurant and his family. You're gonna hear from some of the cooks. You're gonna hear some stories from Don in his hometown. It's got original music from a good friend of mine and Don's, Jeremy Roberts. You're also gonna hear some testimonials from customers that are regulars, some that are not regulars. Very excited to show you guys this. I really hope that we can do some kind of a part 2 now that I've gotten better with camera angles, sound, and I've upgraded some equipment. So I'm hoping we can revisit this and do a little bit more with Magnolia 23 and raise awareness to the small businesses in the community that have been affected by this pandemic. So the one thing I do ask you if you're watching this at home is please give it your undivided attention. It's a piece of art. It's a piece of this man's history. It's a piece of Asheboro's history and the story behind it. And it does deserve your undivided attention. Thank you very much. My name is Ty Brueilly, the director, editor of this film, Down Home, a Magnolia 23 story.
We love Magnolia 23.
It's cooked just like Mama used to cook it. It's fried good, it's got a good crust on it, and I've never got a bad piece of chicken up here. Never got a bad plate of food up here. It's always great.
Well, a good story is when I moved here, I didn't know the area. So Don says, I want to take the time out and show you the area, show you some of the subdivisions, show you some of the places, show you some churches and things like that. I was not only a customer, but I became a fast friend with Don. And he took me around and showed me the community and talked to me about the community environment here. So it made me welcome to the community, not just to his restaurant, but welcome to Asheboro.
That's all. But Don and his family does a good job here. It's just real personable. Don is the business. He makes everybody feel very special, very important. Like you're the only one here, and he does that to everyone.
Yeah.
So Don's just a really good man. We just think a lot of Don. You can tell through a business that's really cared for and nurtured, and that's what Magnolia 23 is. It's a well-nurtured business.
It reminds me of my grandmother's cooking. My grandparents have been dead many years, but it reminds me of their cooking.
Yeah. We a while back we actually brought Heather's parents to eat here, and actually sat at this very table. And they're from down east, and it's about a 2-hour drive. And Heather's mom got the candied yams, and she said it was better than her grandmother's.
It is. We eat a few other places in Asheboro, but this is our favorite. It really is. The food is very southern, very seasoned. Chicken's like your mama would cook, you know. The vegetables are seasoned, the good stuff. Yeah. And I hate when they run out of cornbread because I like this cornbread.
Welcome to Magnolia 23.
Our recipes are rooted from the heart of two small North Carolina towns.
Just 8 miles apart from each other, Ellaby and Norman.
A place our family holds dear to our hearts, a place we call Down Home.
Our food is made from scratch and most importantly made from love.
Our menu is inspired by the meals crafted from the hands of our mothers.
Bert Simmons.
and Alma Williams.
So welcome. Grab a seat.
A glass of iced tea.
And enjoy a good down-home Southern meal.
I moved to Asheboro in 1970, right out of high school. Got tired of picking peaches and cotton and watermelon, hoping to find a better way of life. And as we're getting ready to go into Norman now, this is all this right in here used to be farmland. I have farmed all these fields here. All this right here used to be tobacco and peaches, this field. Down home. Oh, we call each other on a Saturday or Sunday. You going down home tomorrow? Going down home? I used to climb those trees for many days, playing them. This old house done growed up. That's where I was born and raised at. That's the old house right there. Now this little creek down here where we used to go fishing and skinny dipping as a kid. Mom and Dad didn't know that though. We used to come down here and swim in this little creek and fish. We fish on this side because that was Richmond County, Montgomery County on the other side. So you didn't license fish on your side. All these fields here, I primed the back and picked peaches in. Watermelon, cucumbers, tomatoes. All this right here used to be fields that I had worked. Right now we're coming upon a place where I get my produce from. We went to school together, Jim, Joe, and Marshall. We all graduated together, and they went to North Carolina State after finishing high school, and they majored in agriculture. And so they moved back home, and that's where they have a big farm down here called a Triple L farm. And that's where I get most of my produce from in the summertime, as we can say, from the farm to the table. As you can see, all these fields out here, they raise all kind of produce during the summertime. And this is their place here where they sell wholesale, and plus they sell to the public. They call it a Triple L farm. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine.
See, there's the flower. You see that little green tip right there? That's the peach. And then you take that off right there. And take that flower and bend it off. And that's the little peach down there. The little green thing right there at the bottom.
It's amazing.
They love him. I know I've been up to eat with him several times. Went up one time and it was such a darn line, we had to go somewhere we didn't even eat. Line out the back of the building. That was on Sunday, I think. But he's been a good friend since we went to high school.
I love his fried chicken. It makes my Sunday, so I feel like I'm really missing out if we're out of town and I don't get to have his fried chicken. It's usually like a family atmosphere on Sunday. And of course we love to come outside in the summertime and enjoy the outside atmosphere as well when we have our brunch.
Don and I hit it off from the first day because we found out we were both drill sergeants in the United States Army. So we've had a lot of stories that I cannot share with you right now. We always get the fried chicken unless he's doing his grilled pork chop. The grilled pork chop is out of this world, and I didn't grow up eating grilled pork chop, but boy, it is really good. Creasy's when he has those. Always the mac and cheese and cornbread.
Yes, but I have to have my mac and cheese.
My name is Evelyn Rodman, and I'm the Evelyn macaroni and cheese on the menu, Sunday and Wednesday. I've been knowing Don pretty close to 40 years. We're all just basically family. Macaroni and cheese, I could probably do it with my eyes closed. It's probably one of the easiest meals to make, dish to make. But Don said my worst macaroni is better than most people's best macaroni. The key to good macaroni and cheese is butter, and I mean real butter, and good cheese. Not cheese food, but good cheese. But Don is also an excellent cook. He and Doris both. They basically everything they cook is good. They are very good people. Don is a very, very kind, considerate person, and also Doris, and are all just wonderful people. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. I enjoy coming here on Sunday morning and on Wednesdays to do this. He's just a wonderful thing, and I just hope nothing but the best for the two of them and their two girls. They're just a wonderful and great family.
And the macaroni is so cheesy, chicken, and white, so crispy, good. And my family is having a great time eating. Yeah, see them? They're having a great time. It's a great family place. The food is great. It's number one.
We've been ranked number one on TripAdvisor over 5 years. Here lately, they find us. You know, they go into TripAdvisor, and most times when people go out, they don't want to go where the locals go anyway to eat.
We actually came across this place. We were about 2 years ago. We were getting the tires changed on the car, and I always Google different restaurants. This one came up. We had no idea where it was at, and it was wonderful. And ever since then, we've came back every Friday night, almost on a weekly basis. And we haven't looked to go to another restaurant since, because this is family oriented. People are nice, you know, and we we like that about it. It's not many places like that anymore. Well, if we're in the area on a Friday evening, we come here, we're like, okay, it's 4:45, we're sitting in the parking lot because we want to be the first ones in the door because it gets filled up really fast. We always have the same waitress, and she's fantastic. She's right on it every time.
Raised the right smart of garden stuff and all, and I grew some collards, and I said something to Don. I said, Don, you need some collards? He said, yeah, how many you got? And I told him I planted around 1,000 of them, and he said, I'll take every one of them. He can really cook them good. I'll eat them all over the state, but I'll never eat any better than here. Usually when I'm eating lunch, I'll eat collards and his yams. That was the best. With whatever kind of meat he's got, I'll eat it. The ribeye steaks, they're delicious, best in town. But today I ate the pork chop. It's delicious too. I cut it with a fork. It'd make Bob Darner's mouth watering. And a lot of times I'll call Don. I'll say, Don, I've got squash and okra, and bring me some of all of it, and maybe cabbage and potatoes when they're in, and he just, I like that farm to table,
We've continued to come up here to visit Magnolia 23 over the years. One of our favorite places. Food's great, down home feeling. Don's very accommodating and works well with the customers. And he just loves being around people and doing the things for people. That's probably about the best word you can say is very genuine. Nothing fake, it's just Don. And Don would do anything in the world for you. And he's one of those true friends that he just never forgets people. You can tell that in the restaurant as he walks around and talks to people. Asks them politely how the food is, how's the service. Comes by and speaks to everyone. Every time we've been in here, he's been around talking to the people, asking them if the food is just right, getting the extra service, going the extra mile. That's a direct carryover from the days in the Army when I'd working with him on a daily basis. Same kind of personality. He hadn't changed in all those years. Not at all. But the thing about Don is that you could always count on him. No matter what, he was going to be there when he was supposed to be there, and he was going to finish everything he was supposed to finish. You never had to worry about him not doing his thing, and he was always professional. Always.
I think for me, it feels good to walk into a place where I see myself. Our culture, our tradition, from our ancestors has been come down the line and down the pipeline. It's good to see a business being run successfully because this isn't a 1 or 2 year business, and most people know businesses take between 3 to 4 years to even see profit, and just for Mr. Don and Miss Doris to still be here is a testament to his business alone, the product, the service. It's amazing.
And the fact that they didn't change their culture. It's like coming home. It's like sitting at the dinner table with your mom and your dad and your siblings, and to see all the diversity here is amazing. Like, it's not just black owned or African Americans coming here. As you can see, it's multicultural, so it's really great. The food is made with love, and that's what you see in that building.